Hello. Let's talk about editing your Canva designs on your phone. Okay, so we've been using the big old desktop with a keyboard and a mouse and shortcut keys and stuff to design in Canva. We've made everything so far that way. We're gonna now look at doing some of that stuff on a phone. Okay, you can do all of it on the phone. That's the interesting thing. It's the exact same app that obviously the screen real estate on a phone is very different. First of all, it's portrait and it's small. So everything that you've done so far on the desktop one, you will be able to find in your app. I'm gonna give you the kind of like quick run through of the things that are slightly different, okay, and that are useful to know when you are using the phone version. Should you be using the phone version completely instead of the desktop version? It's up to you. I find it too tricky to work that small, okay? Lots of people do though. What I find it really handy for is that when you're designing something and then you give it to the client for them to be able to adjust, and they might be just using their phone, okay, and give them a little run through how to use it. They can change text, update images, change dates, simple stuff. You do that kind of heavy lifting design work, and then they can do some of the adjustments afterwards in Canva. That's really handy. What it's also really good for is same for myself. Like if I've got an Instagram post and it's the same thing, but next month I'm like, oh, hey, it's the same design. Okay, I just need to change the date on it and then post it. You can do it on your phone. I still do it on the desktop because it's easier, I find. But yeah, it's the same stuff. Let me give you the quick run through and the do's and don'ts, or the interesting things that are mobile centric. Okay, yeah, let's get in there. All right, so I've downloaded the app from the App Store, logged in with my Canva account, and it is the exact same account that you have on your desktop. You don't need the desktop open, okay? You can just work straight from your phone. And the problem with the phone is that it's a little tricky because it's quite small, but you might love it this way. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna open up the document we were working on, okay, this one here. I'm gonna scrub across to the pages that, this is the one, it's the most complex. Okay, this is the one I want to do my adjustments on, and especially this little lock up here, the text is a bit small. I want to scale it up a little bit. And what I really find the phone really good for is once you've done the template or kind of got the design, and then you need to go through and say, hey, I need next week's, month's version of it, and I just want to do some text changes on my phone and then send it again for social media. This is perfect. Now, I'm not going to go through everything because it's the same as the desktop. They're just going to move things around, and that's why really what I want to show you is that down the bottom here, okay, these are the apps that we normally had on the desktop. There's design, elements. So if I need a photograph to add to it, I go to elements, I scroll down the same, looks the exact same sort of panel, okay, and I find my photograph, see all, do a search, add the photograph. Let's add this. There we go. I'm going to hit the undo button. It's along the top there. So because we don't have a keyboard for shortcuts, we have to kind of, there's only a couple of main ones. One of the main ones that is tricky on a mobile app, if you haven't used it before, is the selecting multiple objects. Let's say I want to move this and this date around. I can do it separately. I can click them once and just move it. Okay, they move just fine. Okay, but if I want to select both of those together so they don't, so they kind of stay in relationship, you can click anything and then look for these three little dots. Okay, those three little dots here, okay, will open other stuff. And the one I want is called select multiple. All it does means is I can pick 1, 2, I don't know, and that thing, okay? And then I can click, hold, and drag all of them in one go, see? Handy. I'm gonna undo that. The other thing that is useful is I can, obviously text editing is easy. You click on it, okay? I'm gonna actually close down this bottom section here. I'm gonna click on, say, click off in the background, click on just the text. I'm gonna go down here to edit, okay? And I can do some text editing, so I can rename it. Okay, so text editing is easy enough. So selecting multiple objects is one of the interesting things on mobile. The other one is working with layers. It can be really handy because obviously it's a little bit tricky here. So I'm gonna click on one of them, okay, and I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna scroll along and I'm gonna go to layers. This is not only a good way of like adjusting layers. Say I want this above now, I can click, hold, and drag the little options on the side here. It's hard with you guys in front of me. I'm dragging it randomly. Okay, what I use it for when I'm working on the mobile phone is actually clicking on layers. So let's say I want to click on something like let's have a look at that leaf. It's kind of hidden behind stuff. I can just click on it here, then I have it selected and I can close down layers. I've just used it to grab it to be able to kind of select it. Sometimes it can be tricky to select things. Other interesting things for the quick run through is the burger menu. The burger menu in this top left-hand corner here gets you back to basically your home screen where you can pick other documents you're working on, start new designs, exporting stuff is in the same place. You go up the top right-hand corner, it's got the same icon. If I click on it with my big fingers, I can download it, share it to Instagram. I can send a link to my client, same as the desktop. Two more things I want to show you is if I click on the shape here, okay, and you're like, all right, shape, what you can do, once you've got it selected, there will be at the beginning, we've got edit. Actually, that's not what I want, that's editing the text. Select on it. If I go to shape, okay, remember those shape options we had? Oh, I didn't select on it, come on. Okay, I can come into here and remember we've got those kind of like different shapes we can do. So we can do everything on the mobile app if you're prepared to figure out where it is. I can change the color of it, add a line, change the corners. Everything that we've learned so far in the course can be done on the mobile. One last thing is I can get into some of the like, I don't know, more hardcore things we're learning. Remember under design, okay, it's one of the apps, it's down the bottom on mobile, and there was styles. Remember we did styles where we went, all right, color palettes, see all, okay. You can lower this kind of to be part way through your design. Okay, so you can see a bit of your design plus, in our case, the color palettes. And we can go through and do that kind of like creative stuff we did on the desktop app. Mobile phone is great. You might be a mobile first kind of a person. I'm more of a desktop first kind of a person. Doing adjustments in the mobile though, especially small changes, especially text changes, maybe a simple image change can be done really well on your mobile phone. And also maybe you might be designing for your client, okay? And you're doing the design on desktop and they might be making little edits themselves on the mobile app. So that's the quick run through of the mobile app version of Canva. It's the same. All the skills that we're learning in the desktop version can be translated to the phone. They're just in slightly different places because of the format and the size. And we don't have keyboard, and I love shortcuts, so I end up using the desktop a lot more than I'd use the mobile phone version. But that could be a generational thing, okay? Or you might just prefer to use your phone to do lots of the design because you like doing it on the couch with your cat. I don't know. That is it. I will see you in the next video. I'll go have a shave. Do it, Dan.